For our first story, Cabinet will today discuss the new foreign exchange regulations as announced by the Bank of Ghana last Wednesday. The Bank of Ghana notices announced measures to arrest the declining value of Ghana's currency, the cedi, development which seemed to have caused some uneasiness in the business community. While some analysts have welcomed the measures and challenged the Bank of Ghana to ensure strict enforcement, others say the measures are unfair to businesses and will boost the illegal currency market, referred to as the black market. This is, however, a general agreement, as noted by the Trade Union Congress, that there is excessive dollarization of the economy. Later in the day, the Minister of Finance, Setekpe, and the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. William Wampa, will meet the chief executives of various commercial banks to discuss implementation of the new policy and also bring further clarity to the announced measures.
Now, government says it remains opposed to the decision by the University of Ghana to charge tolls on roads used to access the university campus. Chief of Staff at the Presidency, Prosper Bani, insists government will prefer that the motoring public is not burdened by the university authorities. This is despite arguments put forward by the university that it needs the tolls to help repay the 7 million cedis it took in loans for road rehabilitation on campus. On Friday, 2 committees tasked to look into the issue after meeting agreed the University of Ghana Council on Thursday, February 5, approved the tolls. The 2 committees agreed that the university were well within their rights to charge the tolls. But Chief of Staff says the Minister for Roads and Highways, acting on behalf of governments, that the cost of rehabilitating the university roads could be absorbed into the ministry's budgets instead of having motorists pay the tolls.
The display of canned foods, especially drinks, to direct sunlight can have serious health implications for buyers. The news team has been exploring these implications following several food safety concerns over the exposure of prepackaged foods to direct sunlight.
Many people might not be aware of the dangers of exposing canned food to direct sunlight. On a typical visit to markets in the capital, many of these canned foods are seen directly exposed to the sun. Drinks are the most exposed. From one store to the other, we counted variety of drinks openly displayed and at the mercy of the sun. I tried to find out from these traders why they exposed canned food to sunlight. Many of them shied away from the cameras, while other traders say they have no stalls to keep their goods in. Some tell me their stalls are too small to contain all their wares. They, however, tell me they have no idea of the health implications of exposing canned food to direct sunlight. We sought the view of a food expert with the Food and Drugs Authority.
Because of the practice of taking the food from the sunlight, putting it in the shade in the evening and bringing it back, that sort of intermittent heating and then cooling can affect the quality of the food. In some instances, you can have rusting taking place with canned foods because as the temperature goes down, any moisture that is formed in the product will end up rusting the cans. And then as the rust becomes, the effect becomes more and more pronounced, they can create what we call micropores. So you have very tiny holes that are created in the cans, and this will allow gases with microorganisms to enter the food. With the effect of some nutrients, some preservatives, when they are broken down or when they disintegrate, you may have components formed that could lead to cancer.
He further outlined some measures that will help in addressing the situation.
All has to do with infrastructure. Okay, if there's an infrastructural revolution in this country where we are putting people selling in shaded areas, nobody sells in the open sun. Okay, this is eventually this is what it has to come to. You don't put people should not sell in the open sun. It is not done, especially with prepackaged foods. But our shops people even have shops. They will still want to display drinks and things like that in the sun outside in front of the shop. That is a bad practice. Why don't you keep the food items inside? Let people get in and then pick from there. These items should not be sold directly under the sun. They should be sold in an enclosed facility and at the right temperatures.
He adds the Food and Drugs Authority will continue to play its surveillance role over such practice, but also caution consumers to be careful when purchasing canned foods. Matilda Pamaga for Joy News, Accra.
Now, Wesley Girls High School in Cape Coast has held its 177th Speech and Prize Giving Day with a call on educational institutions to instill values in students, as that is the only antidote to shaping the lives of students towards nation building. According to the headmistress of the school, Betty Jokoto, the kind of social vices recorded in schools in recent times makes one wonder if students are given the right kind of education.
Headmistress of the Wesley Girls High School, Betty Jokoto, charged schools to attach importance to values because the educational process will become a meaningless venture without values. She, however, hinted that value building has kept Wesley Girls in good standing and disclosed that out of the 150 students across the country who scored 8 ones in the WASSCE, 58 were from Wesley Girls.
In 2011, as well as in 2012, the school produced the best science students, not only in Ghana, but in West Africa. This year, we were terribly disappointed when the number of our A's dropped from 96 the previous year to 58 this year. In fact, for the first time in many years, we needed to conduct a little research to find out whether the crime was peculiar to our school or what we did wrong. Because we always say we are not in competition with anybody, we are in competition with ourselves. But this year, we were shocked because of the crime.
Minister for Education, Professor Jane Nano Pokwajiman, also an old student, applauded teachers of the school for their continuous dedication towards achieving best results.
As the sincerest roots of our memories, we will forever remember them. And when we remember them, we will remember them with gratitude. We will remember them as they were examples.
The school, which was established in 1836 with 25 girls with the aim of offering girls training in reading, writing, sewing, housekeeping, moral and spiritual development, amongst others, now has a total population of 1,200 students. Earlier, the 1973 and 1999 year groups donated a Mahindra pickup, regimental band and sanitation equipment respectively to the school. Georgina Pierce report from Cape Coast.
Away from education, the chairperson of the Acquah Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, the Reverend Esmond Wasau Nagba, has urged Ghanaians to adopt good environmental practices for the safety of the country. He was speaking at the launch of the 2014 Bible Week celebration in Bolgatanga in the Upper East region.
Chairperson of the Acquah Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Reverend Nagba, who was not happy about indiscriminate littering of the environment with plastic waste, said the Bible calls on Christians to work hard to maintain the beauty of the environment God created and put mankind in charge of. He also emphasized the need for Ghanaians to remain united despite their different ethnic backgrounds in order to enable the country develop. Reverend Nagba was speaking when the Bible Society of Ghana launched the 2014 Bible Week celebration at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Catholic Church here in Bolgatanga.
Man that must take care until to effect you and I, by scriptural injunction, we are what stewards. But what do we see? God say riches, destroying the very thing that God has given us. Cancer is through environmental pollution. So the Bible enjoins us with every aligned determination to keep the environment.
Regional Program Officer of the Bible Society of Ghana, Mohammed Abdul Rauf, said the society is a non-profit making organization committed to translating the Bible into major Ghanaian languages.
The Ghana Chamber of Mines says the sector will continue to lay off staff in these difficult times at the Forum for Media Houses in the Eastern region. The Chamber called for an all-inclusive effort in finding solutions to the challenges confronting the sector.
Environment of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Ahmed Dassana Nantoma, noted the human resource in the mining sector in Ghana is one of the best trained. He also disclosed the industry employs about 20,000 people, 98% of whom are Ghanaians. He said despite challenges, mining companies would continue to live up to their responsibilities.
And it is seen as an easy cash cow, because when they say tax the mining companies, everybody knows that mining companies pay their taxes. So tax them and they are taxed and they continue to pay. But as we continue to tax them, it gets to a point that the companies get choked. They get to their threshold beyond which they are unable to pay the taxes. And then they become uncompetitive. So you can see that the industry has recently been choked with high fees and charges from the MMDAs. Apart from paying taxes to government, we do also pay some taxes to some government regulators. We look at the fiscal regime now in the country has made it very uncompetitive. So we realize that some of the exploration companies are leaving Ghana and going to our neighboring countries.
He asked all stakeholders to implement measures to address the challenges the mining companies are confronted with.
Well, we're telling you early on about Cabinet meeting today to discuss the new foreign exchange regulations as announced by the Bank of Ghana last Wednesday. And following that, government agencies, departments and institutions have been directed to stop quoting their services in foreign currency. Well, the move forms part of measures by the Bank of Ghana and the Finance Ministry to help stabilize the Ghana cedi. The new directives by the Central Bank have been heavily criticized, with the accusation that government itself does not appear to have confidence in the cedi, as some state institutions priced in dollars. Institutions like the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Police CID, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority price some of their services in dollars, among others. And that's it for the latest news update we have for you on the AM show. Of course, we'll bring you the news on the hour, but in the meantime, do a recap of our top stories.
Cabinet to hold emergency meeting today over the free fall of the Ghana cedi.
We brought to you a special report on the health implications of foods displayed in the open sun.
For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. We'll bring you sports, which is brought to you by Cowbell and Tigo. You're still watching the AM show, proudly brought to you by Mixi Coffee.
So we now have to look at the MTN FA Cup that entered round of 32. The weekend just passed with 10 matches being played across the country. After the games, Feyenoord Academy, Acquah United, as well as Mighty Jets and Metro Stars joined Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Brekum Chelsea, Istanbul, and cup holders Midyama as a size have made it to the fourth round so far. Here are the results that have been displayed. Bachem United, they were able to win their match against Dolphins 2-1. Hazaka is recording a 2-0 win over Liberty. The Inter-Allies beating Nania FC 2-1. Acquah United 2-3. Dubiasi FC, Red Lions FC 0. We have Feyenoord Academy also recording 1 against Red Lions. And the other results are there on your screen. Stemmer United, they lost as they visited the home grounds of Metro Star. So those are the results of the 32nd round of the MTN FA Cup as it took place over the weekend. Well, we'll still have to remain local, though. The Omo Fantastic Five football competition ended in Accra over the weekend after months of talent searching from junior high schools from all over Ghana. Kotobabi 5 from Accra beat St. Elizabeth School from Kumasi 2-1 to lift the coveted trophy at stake. We bring you those highlights.
I think it has been a great success, in terms of the event itself. As you know, the whole process started from June of last year, and this was the culmination of it. As you know, the whole idea is creating a platform where kids can explore learning through play, and in the process develop themselves, develop qualities like teamwork, courage, and I saw a lot of that in abundance today. But importantly as well, I saw an incredible display of talents and skills, which I saw everybody around here sort of admiring and responding very positively to. So I think in many ways it's been a success, purely from the point of view of creating that platform where the kids can play. The parents have also been around, and we had very, very positive feedback from the parents as well in terms of the experience. And I think seeing the winners as well, with the smiles on their faces as they head out to Brazil itself, it makes it all it makes it well worthwhile. So that's a good question. I think it's important to understand that this whole idea of freedom to play is at the heart of the brand philosophy of Omo. And we intend, this is the maiden edition, but the intention is to continue every year to create this platform to bring together multiple talent across the country. We've only done four areas this year, but we intend to spread it across Ghana in the subsequent years, so we give more kids the opportunity to also learn through play. I think, as I said, this is the first time we are doing this, and just a point of correction, we had teams from 4 different areas. So there was Accra, there was Tema.
So the Omo 5 fantastic football competition, well, that was won by Kotobabi 5 from Accra. They beat St. Elizabeth School from Kumasi in the Ashanti region of Ghana. Well, they won that trophy. Congratulations again to Kotobabi 5. I guess they said the best always comes from the ghetto. In the meantime, though, let's look at this weekend's Champions League fixtures and the results as they come up on your screen. Up next, and we have Astiva VC. They beat Kano Pillars 3-1 when they visited them at home. Nyimba, they also won at home 3-1 to Anges Do Not. And Anstead FC, they also beat Konangui. And we have the other result as well, particularly of interest to Ghana. We have Asante Kotoko. They were able to beat the Liberian counterpart, Barak Yone Controllers. And they were able to beat them 2-1. And Brekum Chelsea also won at home to Atlabara. And Zamalek also winning 2-0 as they beat the Cameroonian team, Douane. And so those are the team results as we have them from the CAF Champions League from over the weekend. And we all know that there were also matches for the Confederations Cup. And some of those highlights, of course, Ghana's own team. We have Midiema FC. Well, they were able to win away to Panthers FC in Equatorial Guinea. So we say congratulations to them. That result they posted there was 2-1. Manchester United's Wolves, well, they continued. And even though they played at home, well, they were under extreme pressure as they were only able to draw against Fulham in the English Premiership. We bring you that match highlights and others. They also drew against Manchester City, and the other result as displayed there. So that gives you an indication that Chelsea has gone up the summits of the league table for the English Premiership. Real Valladolid, they drew against Elche. We have the match result between Levante and Real Sociedad, drawing there as well in Valencia. They beat Real Betis 5-0. And there were some match highlights. On Sunday, we had Barcelona also winning their match. And so those are the match highlights we have for you in La Liga. And Hamburg, they lost as they hosted Hertha Berlin 3-0. Borussia Dortmund also won at the home grounds of Werder Bremen 5-1. Mainz, they lost as they visited Wolfsburg 3-0. And TSG Hoffenheim drew against Freiburg. Nuremberg, of course, they lost against Bayern Munich. And Eintracht Frankfurt were winners again. TSV Eintracht Braunschweig. And so you have those highlights there. Schalke also were good winners against Hanover. Well, so that'll be it for sports. It's brought to you by Tigo and Cowbell.